Hey everybody. All right, so I'll just give everybody a minute to come in, cause I mean this shit's crazy. Hey everybody. All right, so I'll just give everybody a minute to come in, cause I mean this shit's crazy. All right, so they have found her. Unfortunately, her car has been found. It's been pulled out of the lake, 14 feet deep. Okay, 14 feet deep. This is why this shit doesn't make any sense. It's just more stuff in this case that makes zero sense. So she was found, what they say, about anywhere 20 to 30 yards from shore. Her car was found 20 to 30 yards from shore, 14 feet down. They have sent teams of divers in there over and over and over again. Nobody found anything. There were boats in there with a sonar. Nobody found the car. This does that I mean, is it just me? Do you guys not think the same thing? Like it's totally crazy. Whoops. Anyway, it not only that. Okay, not only that, but how suspicious is it that they find the car just a couple 2 days after Sammy and her family take off out of state? They find the car after Upchurch has already brought all of this stuff up. Upchurch has brought all of these other people out of, up into the light so people could see what was going on. I'm not saying they're connected, but what I'm saying is it's very suspicious timing, okay? That's what I'm saying. And it makes the only way, in my opinion, that you could say, the only thing, in my opinion, that you'd be able to, excuse me, that you would be able to justify for nobody finding this car before is if local enforcement, I will say, was not supposed to find the car. Do you guys know what I'm saying? Whoops. What in the hell? It makes zero sense to me, but listen to this. This is why I'm saying this about the cops that have been searching there. Okay? Listen to this and tell me you do not find this fishy. All right, divers find body and overturned car in search of missing California teen Kiely Rodni. Divers searched for missing California teen Kiely Rodni said they have discovered a body and an overturned car in the reservoir near where she was last seen more than 2 weeks ago. A dive crew found what they believe is the 2013 Honda CRV that Rodney drove to a graduation party near the Lake of Prosser Creek Reservoir Sunday afternoon. Okay. Listen. The diver who spotted the vehicle under the water told the Post that its license plate matches the plate of the Honda Rodney was driving at the time of her disappearance. However, police could not immediately identify the body. Yes, this is where it gets a little crazy, okay? Okay. Fellow partygoers had reported that she had been drinking at the party. What partygoers? besides her friends? What other partygoers have come forward? None that we know of. So I'm not sure what that's all about. Dive crew Adventures with Purpose was recruited by law enforcement for the probe and began searching the reservoir on Sunday. Okay, listen to this. The divers searched nearly every body of water near Truckee, California before probing the water closest to where the party was held one last time. Now listen, this is where local law comes into question, okay? The team had been assured by law enforcement on the ground that the body of water had already been searched thoroughly, but they decided to check again. Now this is coming from Josh Cantu, one of the divers. He said, "Police told us they did a rigorous search of this body of water." Diver Josh Cantu, 31, said, "They gave us a grid map and made us confident we did not need to search here." Within a few minutes of diving, one of the team members, Nick Rinn, 48, found a body in a car close to shore. Now, why would local law enforcement be telling them, no, you don't need to search this body of water because we've been through it multiple times. There's nothing in there. And then these guys are like, well, since we're out here, let's just take a look anyway. We might as well, right? So they go in and just happen to find the car 30 feet off of shore, 14 feet down, which, by the way, the car itself has to be like 5.5 feet tall, right? So you only have to, so it's only really about 8-9 feet until you hit that car. So 8-9 feet under the water, nobody could see the car. No sonars picked it up. Nothing. How does that make any sense? Now you could say a couple of different things. A, that the cops didn't really search that water thoroughly because they didn't want to find something. Like they were, how do I want to put this? They were told to look in the other direction. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, unless law enforcement was told by somebody else higher up that they were not to find anything. You know what I mean? Like, how is that not? That's possibility A, okay? Possibility B. They did search that place thoroughly. They did search that lake thoroughly over and over again and never found anything. So, theory B, the car wasn't in there until recently. I just don't know about that. Like, B, just, like, how would somebody get the car in there? Haven't they been there? Haven't they been there searching? So how would somebody sneak the car in now? You know what I mean? Or like in the last couple days. But it is super weird because Mystical Mermaid made a video a few days ago, and she was trying to get it to Upchurch. Like, she kept trying to, she's like, I sent it to him, I haven't heard anything. And, you know, a lot of people take, what do you call her? A lot of people take readers and just write them off because they think they're crazy. But she said, and now I'm not saying that this lady's, you know, let's take her word for everything. But it's crazy because she said that they're going to make it look like an accidental drowning. They're going to make it look that way. But that is not what happened to her. Right? But, oh, and she said, she's like, up until recently, she was not, she said, she goes, I see her now in the water. But she has not been in the water up until this point when she made the video. And she, you know, I don't know. I'm not saying that she's right. I'm just saying it's weird, right? That she says that and then all of a sudden the car shows up in the lake that's been searched a fucking 100 times already. Nobody sees how crazy that is. Nobody sees how totally insane that is. It's like, I don't know why. I was on All American Dream Chaser earlier, and I said the same thing to them. It's like, there's too many coincidences for this to be just an accident, right? It smells too much like like foul play, but it smells too much like I don't know, what's the word I want to use? Like, cover up's not the right word, but do you guys know what I'm saying? Like, there's just too much wrong here. And they think people are stupid. And unfortunately, nobody's saying, like, everyone just wants to assume, okay, yep, she got drunk, she was messed up, she was wasted at the party, and then she drove her car into the lake. How come when they first got to that area and they searched that lake and they had all these hundreds of thousands of people looking, all these man hours, and they literally were like, okay, let's check around the lakes first. No tire tracks leading into the lake. So the car couldn't have gone in then because there was no tracks going into the water. So how'd the car get in there? If it was in there then, how did they not find the tracks? Right? It's bonkers. And another thing. I mean, there's just so many things. This is crazy. But another thing. Let's just say, for argument's sake, let's say that she did go into the water 2 weeks ago. She went in the water that night, right? Let's just say that. There isn't going to be any DNA. Not after being in the water for 2 weeks. There's no DNA. The water washes that shit away. Secondly, and I don't know about this for sure, but after 2 weeks, like if she did have drugs in her system, not saying she took them on her own, I'm just saying if she did have drugs in her system, like I don't know if that would show up after so long. And how come, you got to ask yourself, because my gut tells me that Sammy is involved. I don't give a shit what anybody says. This girl is guilty of something, whether it's, being the one who helped get rid of Kiely, or it's being somebody that knew what happened to Kiely and never said anything, or it's somebody that set her up to have something bad happen to her. And then she just runs the whole thing. But nobody else thinks it's totally crazy that she's been running the show from the beginning. She's there. She had people. She was talking to the kids. She had the microphone. She was basically leading the search parties. And now she's nowhere to be found. And a couple of days after she leaves state, the car is found. Kiely's found. Is that not a huge, giant, big, fat, red flag coincidence or what? Because there's so many people now that are like, okay, let's end these theories. She really did. No, the only people that said she was drunk and wasted and fucked up on drugs was the two friends. That's it. That's it. That's why we all think that she was on drugs. There's no proof of that. But everybody just wants to assume that. When there's this many things wrong with a case, it's never just cut and dry. I'm glad that she has been found. At least there's that, right? That's the silver lining. Like, at least she's not still in there. Like, at least she's been found. But okay, now let's figure out how she got there. Was she conscious when she went into that water? If she was alive when she went into the water, when they do the autopsy, they'll find water in her lungs. If she was dead when she went into that water, there will be no water in her lungs. So that'll be a tell right there whether or not she went in alive or dead. But and everyone wants to talk about, oh, Upchurch, now you need to apologize to Iqbal and that Zaname chick. No, he don't need to apologize to anybody. Because whether or not, first of all, Upchurch never came out and said, Iqbal, you took Kiely. I mean, that's just dumb, right? But he did uncover some shit that could possibly lead to a bigger thing being taken down, a bigger ring being taken down. And for that, God bless you. So everybody needs to just relax and chill with that. Okay? Because it's all fishy. What he found out, that shit's still crazy. Whether, Kiely's been found or not. And that other chick, yeah, I don't know about her. When she just left, when she was on with All American Dream Chaser and Upchurch, and she just left and then took everything down or whatever, that's suspicious, guys. But anyway, this ain't about that. That's the problem. That's what everybody's been wanting to talk about. So now let's get back to, okay, she was found in a lake. And I don't know, a lot of people in the chats were saying, was she found in the driver's seat? Was she found in the passenger seat? We're never going to know if she was conscious when she went into the water, but we'll know whether she was dead or alive when she went into the water. But I think now, okay, now let's start grilling Sammy. Now let's get Sammy in here, because she says she was the last person to see her, and now we know she's dead. So let's get this girl in. Let's start interrogating her. Let's get the truth out of her. Because she knows a lot more than she is telling. And why are they out of state right now anyway? Why'd she leave? Why'd she leave the search? Could it be because she knew that the car was going to be found? Could it be, how could she have known that unless, ding, 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 she had something to do with it? Or her parents had something to do with it? Why is she gone all of a sudden? See, this is what I'm saying, guys. This is not over. It's not cut and dry. Everybody, unfortunately, not everybody, but unfortunately now there's a lot of people that were on this that are like, okay, now we need to step back, let the family, deal with this, let them grieve, and, we need to just leave them alone, case solved. No, case is not solved. And I have respects for her family. My heart goes out to them. I can't even imagine what that mother is dealing with, honestly. I would be out of my fucking mind. But we need to stay on this because we need to figure out how she got it in there, why she was in there, who put her in there. And I think Sammy's got the answers. And I think law enforcement, for whatever reason, that wasn't on their plate. Worrying about Sammy was not on their thing. And now who knows what's going to happen. But we need to stay on this because whoever is guilty needs to be proven guilty. This cannot just go cold and, okay, nobody ever pays for it. No. That can't happen. So I'm just saying, don't believe, think for yourself. Common sense, think for yourself. Don't believe just because somebody says, oh yeah, she was wasted, that's how she got into the lake. I'm just saying, you can think what you want. I'm just expressing my own opinion, but don't take somebody else's opinion for it. Think about it. Look at the map. She would have had to drove the opposite direction of her house. And that's what everybody was saying. People are like, oh, well, she drove home and accidentally drove off into the lake. How come she was driving the opposite direction of home, though? In order for her to go in where she did, where people want to say she drove into the lake, she'd have had to pull out of where she was and go the opposite direction of home. The lake was right, home was left. That doesn't make sense. She couldn't have been driving home when it was the opposite fucking direction. So let's think about this with an open mind and not a closed one. Okay? Because if we really want justice for Kiely, the only way to get it is to bring the people who are involved to charges. Make them pay for what they did. Right? I mean, it's crazy to me. Tammy, yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I only have my one screen. I don't have my other screen, so I have to. This is the only way I can see my chat. So sorry. Um, yes, Tammy. The area that they found her in had been searched many, 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 many times before. They've had different diving teams in there. They've searched that same area, and nothing. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. Like, that's why I said, it's too coincidental to not be something. Like, Upchurch started bringing up all this shit, and then all of a sudden, bam, cars found. It makes no sense. Yeah, and there would be tire tracks, but there was none. So explain that to me. Yeah, it's totally crazy. And I said right from the, well, not right from the beginning, but when Church came out and said, and had the proof of what he was saying, I was like, okay, he is really onto something because this shit is crazy, right? That made no sense. Like, it was totally crazy that he brought that into light. And like I said, that could be part of a bigger picture, but we don't know that. It could be part of a bigger picture. And at least now with him bringing that up, even if that's not involved with this case, it'll bring light to that and that can be investigated. Those people can be investigated after. But there's too many coincidences for this to be just, an accidental drove into the lake. It doesn't make any sense. And that's all I'm trying to say. Like, I just don't want people to be like, okay, she's found, on to the next case, or let's forget about this. No. Because the people that are guilty are still out there. You know? So, I don't know. I just don't want people to, huge red flags. But this whole case has been nothing but red flags, every which way. It's insane. I mean, what do you guys think? Let me know, put it in the chat because I'm open to it. Like, it's just that crazy. But people don't need to you can't have a closed mind when it comes to stuff like this and think, oh, that's too out there. That's too conspiracy theory. Listen, this kinds of shit happens all the time. All the time. And you can't really be calling Church a conspiracy theorist when sex trafficking rings are real. They happen. Kids are taken, snatched up every single day. And like, again, before anybody wants to hate on me, I'm not saying that's what this was. I personally think that Sammy is the one that can give us all the answers. And nobody is talking, like, no, now she's not around. That'd be my first thing as an investigator. All right, now we've got the body. Let's get Sammy in here. Let's go. We need some answers. And you're the only person that has given us any information. This whole case, this whole entire case, all goes off of what Sammy said. That's it. No kids from the party, no videos from the party, no photos from the party. And the party, again, not a beer can on the ground, not a red Solo cup, nothing, not a mess. That place would have been trash. And if you guys didn't see my last video where I called out everybody who was on this case, because go check that out if you haven't seen that already. But yeah, and no, so now we're supposed to believe, right, that there was a party, she got wasted, tried to drive home the wrong direction, and nobody heard her drive into the lake. There's no tire tracks that go into the lake. Come on, how fucking dumb do you think we are? It's how dumb, and that's the problem, because a lot of people are. A lot of people will just take this and accept it and say, listen, let's move on. She's gone, whatever. No, we can't do that, guys. We have to stay on it. Ouch, hurt my ankle. But listen, I don't know. I don't know where we go from here, but I say first step is to getting Sammy to talk, because that girl is a liar. Tammy agrees with me. She's like, yep, I'm with you 100%. This is one of the craziest things ever. It kind of reminds me, before we found her, it kind of reminded me of the Summer Wells case, because nobody was talking. That girl still, 14 months later, vanished without a trace. Nobody seen her, nothing. And everyone that was involved there, fucked. That's what I said. I go, Upchurch needs to reopen the Summer Wells case. Let's get some answers here. Let's find that, But, no, not to take things off Kiely, but, yeah. I mean, it's crazy. They have to, it's almost like it was written out, like it's almost that crazy. Like this could be a movie, I mean, no, I don't see anybody telling me I'm wrong. I mean, there's just so many things. And if she was that wasted, if she was so wasted or so fucked up on drugs that she could have gotten into her car and drove the wrong direction and drove right into a lake, then how was she able to send a text message to her mom with not one grammatical error in it? How was she able to do that? So she could pick up, she could text, not make one mistake, send a message to her mom, but she was too wasted to drive, to stand, to walk, to do anything? Come on, I'm not buying it. That's what I'm saying. I don't think she drove into the lake. Not at all. I don't think she drove her car in that lake, period. Yeah, but with them making it a Netflix special, then, I mean, it's just coming off they're just making money off it, off this terrible thing that happened. Just more people making money off of this terrible thing that happened. Listen, this is a cover-up, and I'm not saying by the police directly, but friends covered it up. People know what happened, and nobody said a fucking word. Nobody gave two shits about this girl enough to stand up and say, listen, I know what happened. I was there. Like, this is what happened. Nobody. The only reason that I could think that could be is if there never was a party in the first place. Is it really that far-fetched to think? Now, come along with me for a minute. Is it really that too far-fetched to think that there was no party, somebody did something to her, but, and took her phone there afterwards, right? Took her car there, took her phone there, whatever. Somebody did something, and the only reason we have this party in our heads is because Sammy said there was one. She put up a post on Snapchat saying that there was a party. So she could have backup that there was a party, right? She needed something that said, yeah, there was a party here. And again, I'm going to go right back into this. Mags, listen, the only reason we think Kiely was at a party was because Mags said she rode there with her. They had to have a way to put Kiely there, right? So Mag said, yeah, I rode to the party with her. I wasn't going to stay there. I only stayed for 10 minutes and left with my boyfriend. Then why did you fucking ride there in the first place? Because she needed somebody to put her at the party. She needed somebody to put Kiely at the party. What better way than to say, yeah, I rode there with her? Come on. Come on, guys. And then left 10 minutes after. What? This is craziness. Listen. Somebody knows what happened to Kiely. The truth. Somebody knows what happened to her. And the person who knows is covering that shit up. So either way you want to look at it, there is a cover up here. There is. Because somebody knows what happened to that girl. And nobody's saying a fucking word. Now, either cops were told to not find anything on purpose, or the fucking car was never there in the first place. Right? Because that article I just read to you, the dive team was given a map of where they needed to dive. This AWP that came, they were given a map by the local law enforcement of where they needed to dive. Local law enforcement literally told them, you do not need to search this lake. We have searched it multiple times. We have searched it rigorously. We've had teams and teams and teams of divers in here. The car's not here. So why did they fucking find the car there, 30 miles offshore, fucking 8 feet down, right? They would only have to go 8 feet to find the vehicle. Because like I said before, if they say the vehicle was 14 feet down and the SUV itself is about 5.5 to 6 feet tall, they only had to go down 8 feet to find the fucking car. So you have all of these things. Do you not? That makes zero sense unless it was covered up by somebody at some point. Chad over here telling me stop swearing. It's hard. That's what I'm saying. You get so worked up and it makes you so mad. It's like, how do people not see it? So I'm sorry for swearing too much. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Did you see how far that car, how close that car was to shore when they pulled it out? Come on. And it's weird. Like I said, again, this is a big thing that the local law enforcement is like, you don't need to search. They literally told them, you do not need to search here. Why? Because they were either 100% sure that car was not in there. They were either 100% sure that car was not there, or they didn't want it found. Those are the only two explanations. It's either A or B. That's it. There is no other explanation for that. A or B. I mean, you guys agree with me or what? Am I like crazy way out in left field here, or do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I said that. Listen, I said that. I hope you guys go back and watch the very last video I did. It was called Kiely Rodni. I'm calling everybody out. Because that's literally what I said. How do you have a party with 300 plus teenagers, okay, and nobody takes video? Nobody Snapchats it. Nobody puts up a TikTok. Nobody posts to Facebook. Nobody makes a video. That does not happen. Nobody takes no pictures, no videos. That doesn't happen. And someone was like, oh, well, maybe it was a rule of that night that everybody had to leave their phones at home. Baloney. It's like kids don't leave home without it. Ever. So I don't buy that for 1 second. I mean, Listen, I hope you guys like this video. It's midnight here, and I have to get up in the morning. I have to go to work, and I have stuff to do. I could stay on and talk about this all night, but I can't. So, listen, please like this video. Please share it because we need to get the word out there that, you know, this is not right. This is not over. Please share this video. Share it with as many people as you can. Um, and please hit that subscribe if you haven't done so already. I think I really like making these videos. So, I hope you guys all have a good night. Listen, my prayers are with Kiely and her family. This is not, I'm not at all trying to take away from that. I'm trying to just help bring the people responsible. We need to make sure that they're held responsible. So I'm going to end this here. I hope everyone has a good night, and at least Kiely is at rest. You know? All right. I'll